I call it a rug, rhymes with grug. And I call this one a ride, rhymes with grug. And welcome back to episode 6 of Fight Club. Let's go into the schedule. Fight 1, we've got Bloodsport and Malice. Then we've got Aquatic Disaster and Endgame. Lucky and Quicksilver for our third. Hijinks and Torpedo. Then we've got PDY and Trimangle. We've got a couple of Norwalk Havoc bots in our 6th fight. And then for our main event, it's Division and Riptide. Up first here, we've got our Bloodsport and Malice matchup. Couple of spinners here. Bloodsport, as we know, it's an overhead tri-bar spinner. Got some new forks, new paint scheme as well. Overall, just way more fresh than it was just a couple months ago. It's doing pretty well here. But going against a pretty much an underdog here in Malice. Malice, obviously, it's a busted tombstone with a lot of cardboard armor, and of course that 3D printed drum spinner, a horizontal drum spinner. Take it what you will here, but weapon on weapon collisions here are most likely, so whoever benefits off them will probably have the better fight here. Should be entertaining. Let's go down the box. Should be a fun one here. Let the bot battle begin. And Bloodsport already going at the front of Malice there. These are both very fast bots, somewhat controllable too. Malice counters Bloodsport there, throwing them into the shelf and landing some shots on the side of Bloodsport. Bloodsport is durable, and they have those forks there getting under Malice and pushing them a little bit, but it looks like Bloodsport is stuck under something that's allowing Malice to take advantage. Bloodsport gets free now. Malice, so far, I'd say, is winning these collisions. They might have the harder hitting weapon, as they're just kind of chucking Bloodsport, making Bloodsport come to them. Bloodsport, while being faster and just more controlled, it's Malice getting to the back most of the time and taking advantage of those corners and flat spots on Bloodsport's armor. We have a little bit left until the pits open. That might be Bloodsport's go-to, as they do have forks and the pushing power to put Malice in. That was a big shot there. Both these bots, obviously, they weren't going to avoid each other for long. Weapons like these just always have to clash against each other. The pits have been open, though. This might be where Bloodsport takes advantage, but that's a nice shot there by Malice. That weapon might be broken. I don't know. It's kind of looking a little bit stalled, if you know what I mean. Bloodsport here, I don't really know what they do. It is really hard to slow both these weapons down, but there's Malice with another shot. You can hear Bloodsport's weapon just grinding at the top there. I think Malice, with how many times it's hit that weapon, has managed to push the motor up, not allowing that weapon to spin up on Bloodsport. Malice has their weapon interlocked with Bloodsport's, almost trying to throw them down the pit there. Bloodsport also has lost a fork here, so Bloodsport is pretty much screwed unless they can get a last-second pit KO, which is looking very unlikely. It is very hard to catch Malice here, but that is going to be the fight. And yeah, both these bots survived. Let's go to the judge's decision. I thought both bots here did pretty well standing up to each other's weapons. In the start, it was pretty even. I think Malice got around to the sides a lot more, but Bloodsport was definitely more controlled. It didn't really matter until the end here, where Malice mounted many of their hits together to pop Bloodsport's weapon motor up a bit, causing some big damage there, as well as ripping off of forks, which is the only visible damage. Both bots were pretty even on aggression. Control can go either way here, and damage definitely goes to Malice, so should be a fairly easy decision, but we'll see if I notice something while going back on it. I don't know. It's probably Malice that wins it. The winner by a 9-6 decision is Malice. Malice pulls off an underdog victory as they take down a formidable foe in Bloodsport. We now get to our second match, with the unluckiest bot returning for its daily loss against Endgame. Aquatic Disaster by Ultimate Robotics has been on Fight Club many times and has lost many times. So they're hoping for something new here, but well, we can expect a loss here. And endgame, obviously, it's just a basic bite force vertical spinner. I don't know, who did they take out? I think they took out Shatter in their first fight of Fight Club, and they're looking to do that same sort of damage with Aquatic Disaster. Hopefully pop that weapon, maybe pop that wedge out, get rid of a tread. Tons of possibilities for these bots to score damage, but we'll see how this goes. And let these two popular bots begin. In-game going straight at the weapon of Aquatic Disaster. Aquatic Disaster getting some hits on the side there. That is the reach advantage Aquatic Disaster has, but here is Endgame pinning Aquatic Disaster on that shelf. The top bit of Aquatic Disaster is stuck. They can't get their treads on the ground. This allows Endgame to just keep hitting those treads, but they eventually get free, and they've got that weapon spin up. Endgame doing a great job slowing down that cage spinner, but both these bots now have time, and that's another kind of minor collision there. Those wedges on Endgame doing them wonders here, always popping Aquatic Disaster just like that. Aquatic Disaster needs to stay in the middle of the box. They're kind of like a full body spinner. Huge weapon here that they need to keep spinning to hopefully score some damage, but is Endgame being a great aggressor, throwing them into the screws, and have thrown Aquatic Disaster out of the arena. Holy, that's very uncommon, but Endgame takes the win here. Just dominance at its finest here. Endgame was on Aquatic Disaster the whole time. Aquatic Disaster did get that weapon spun up a couple times, but didn't really get the hits they wanted. It was just down to Endgame using those wedges and deflecting Aquatic Disaster's own weapon up, and that just allowed Endgame to basically put them in the situation that they got the KO win, throwing them into the screws and letting the screws do the work, throwing Aquatic Disaster out. That's a good dominant win there for Endgame. Very happy with how this match turned out. As for Aquatic Disaster, man, what did you expect? Our third match here is Lucky and Quicksilver. We saw Lucky last time. Who'd they fucking beat? I don't know. They beat someone. And, yeah, it just shows that Flipper is pretty dominant. They do have some trouble. Sometimes the Flipper doesn't just fires randomly. You can't stop it. But hopefully that issue is solved here. And then they are going against a new Quicksilver here. This Quicksilver is a bit different, same kind of motto where they're ramming into bots, but they've got some side guards as well as a vertical spinner. So once they kind of, get under you with the ram, that vertical spinner should pop bots even higher, thus hitting bots way harder with that weapon. So we'll just see how this goes, man. Think about it, these bots are pretty related, but let the bot battle begin here. Quicksilver already with a box rush, but it's Lucky's ground game that saves them there. Lucky pinning Quicksilver into the screws there. Quicksilver, obviously this new ram kind of fork thing is a lot longer, and it is obviously lowered to the ground, equipped with a vertical spinner, so damage shouldn't be a problem. But after seeing what Valor did to Quicksilver, they got inspired to put some new side guards in, but that's a driving error by Quicksilver. Lucky unable to take advantage, and Quicksilver gets under that low kind of plow of Lucky, getting a couple good hits with the vertical spinner there. Not much though. Quicksilver has Lucky in control here. Lucky has yet to land a flip yet. But there they are. That's a nice little lift there, just showing that weapon does work. But they've kind of got Quicksilver in their grill here. Quicksilver not in the best situation right now. Quicksilver, they're eyeing up the pit there and then driving backwards. Lucky's flipper is firing. This is what I've talked about. Sometimes that flipper just cannot retract, and thus creating they just fire it randomly. Quicksilver is stuck under the wall again. That is potentially a downside with this new redesign, but this new redesign is definitely to be, it's definitely for, you know, verticals and horizontals now. Quicksilver a bit sluggish though. We did see this last time where Quicksilver's kind of battery popped. I'm wondering if it's the same thing here. Quicksilver is not moving. It's kind of a shame. The vertical spinner is good, but something just got turned off in Quicksilver. That's going to be a KO win for Lucky. This was definitely a letdown, but it's okay. It was a good test for this new redesign of Quicksilver. Some new improvements with that weapon, but obviously some downsides with that fork getting stuck under the wall sometimes. That just allowed Lucky to control most of the match there. Don't get me wrong, both these bots definitely had their matches and glory moments here, but it was this moment here where Quicksilver dropped and the battery box came loose, allowing one of those batteries not to fully work the bot. So it's a good win there for Lucky. Next fight here, because Torpedo is like 0-3 in fight clubs, it's getting an easier opponent in Hijinks. So here we have Hijinks and Torpedo. Hijinks, obviously, this is based a lot off of Chaotic Robotics'. This one is a little bit different though. It's got a thicker bar. The original one broke, so it's rocking a new bar. And so hopefully it will score some more damage. And then Torpedo, obviously, huge letdown. Still looking for its first win here in Fight Club. It's got the bot to do it, so we'll see. And here we go. Let the bot battle begin. Hijinks brings in that new undercutter. Don't want to be in the front of Torpedo. That will happen. Hijinks has been inverted. Torpedo has them inverted. This is a good spot there. Hijinks is right next to the screws. This is a good chance for Torpedo to get them out, and I'm pretty sure they have. Torpedo has just flipped them out of the box here. That was very quick fight. 10 seconds. Shit. Alright, I guess I'll just shut the fuck up then. Basically, the match was over here. Hijinks got one hit, and then Torpedo managed to get under them and flip them invertedly. And then Hijinks was just in a rough spot in the screws here, and that just allowed Torpedo to get another flip and get the out of the arena KO. I didn't even have to slow this video down. It was that quick of a fight. But here we go. Next fight. Good job, Torpedo. And here we have PDY and Trimangle for our fifth match here. We all know these guys. PDY, of course. A BYOB egg beater. It's got some coins to make it a little more beefed up for the competition. And then we've got Trimangle here, which is really just a glass cannon. That angled spinner works really well, and when it doesn't, the bot doesn't work that well. So, you know, we'll see who survives who. I don't know. These bots tend to knock each other out themselves a lot. 2-1 Rowdy. And let the bot battle begin here. Trimangle ripping parts off of PDY. This is what Trimangle thrives in. The first 10 seconds. And then the bot usually goes to shit here. Trimangle scoring big damage, actually. That coin off the egg beater was epoxied on. Emphasis on was. And then Trimangle has them in the corner, continuing their damage. The other coin is very loose. That egg beater has stopped working. PDY is essentially a pusher now. I don't know how they're going to throw themselves at PDY here. I guess they can get to the sides. Trimangle has the turn radius of a planet, so PDY is very confused on what the hell Trimangle is even doing right now. I think they're stuck in the corner. Trimangle trying to turn and hit PDY just like that. PDY has some ground to make up. That's a good shove there, throwing that weapon into the screws. PDY, though, I don't really know what they can do. They can definitely get around to the sides. They're getting around to the sides a lot here. And since PDY or Trimangle sucks at turning, really not gaining any ground here. But PDY still has some catch up. They're definitely behind on the damage category. And they don't even have a weapon, so aggression's out of the question. But that's a nice deflect there for PDY. Trimangle is essentially in the pit here. PDY trying to push them down to seal the job here. That was a great push there using Trimangle's weapon off the wall and into the pit, and that is a pit KO for PDY. Trimangle's fight to lose, and they lost. So Trimangle here at the start, racking up so many points in damage and aggression, using that weapon and destroying PDY. Its armor and egg beater were not really functioning well. That didn't stop PDY from trying to win the match and steal it from them, throwing them into the wall a couple of times and trying to jam that weapon up. They did, and then PDY with this nice push here, able to use that spinner's energy and poor signal to get them in the pit, and that's PDY with a pit KO. Nicely done. Next fight. Finally starting to get into the good fights. We've got Ramplan and Silent Spring. These two Norwalk Havoc bots are pretty new. Ramplan is the newest bot in my collection. I just made it. But you know how this thing works. Everyone has a freaking Ramplan. So they're going to use that wedge to try and tank Silent Spring. And then Silent Spring here is just a rotator with a custom asymmetric disc spinner. Wheels are kind of mimicking shuffling. I don't really know. But it's definitely a very underrated bot. Don't count them out. So we'll see how this goes. This is a test. 3, 2, 1, go. And the bot battle will begin. Both these bots, while in the same league, there is a big size comparison here. Ramplan, very small compared to Silent Spring. Silent Spring already doing work, taking off one of those back wheels. That is going to hinder Silent Spring a lot because those back wheels are basically, those basically help it drive forward here. Ramplan getting stuck under the wall, and that allows Silent Spring getting that undercutter under Ramplan there, getting some hits. Ramplan really struggling to move here. I'm getting poor signal, so that's why my hand is in the frame. Sorry about that. Ramplan still using that wedge though. Silent Spring really having nothing to fear here. Ramplan really can't ride straight. Ramplan getting stuck under the wall again. Silent Spring, this is just target practice for them. Silent Spring, maybe they can rip off that wedge or maybe the arm. I'm telling you, Silent Spring is very underrated. That undercutter hits really hard. It's a single tooth custom asymmetric disc equipped with lipos. Like, it's a very hard hitting horizontal spinner. Silent Spring pushing them. Whoa, Silent Spring. Ramplan doing a flip over, trying to get out of that situation. Good job by Ramplan. Still fighting here, gotta give him that, but it is Ramplan. Really hasn't done much this match, but maybe they can capitalize here. Silent Spring has got their weapons stuck under the wall, trying to get that fork under, trying to lift them, but too late here. Silent Spring going at the wedge once again. They're getting around to the sides really often here. Silent Spring got that fork under, but just unable to lift them. That wedge is looking very loose, and Ramplan is going down the pit, and they just went down the pit. Awesome. Well, this was about the 2-minute mark. This could be a judge's decision, but even then, Silent Spring wins, so that's a KO for Silent Spring. So the fight was pretty much determined when the wheel came off of Ramplan here in the early beginning, because that just allowed Ramplan to not drive in a straight line. They were having trouble just even facing Silent Spring. Silent Spring basically just picked apart Ramplan here. Ramplan did have some moments here, but it was ultimately Silent Spring's undercutter and just better control winning this fight here. Ramplan went in the pit because they couldn't drive that well, and that just left Silent Spring with the win here. As soon as Ramplan fell out, the wedge came off of Ramplan, so I'll have to glue that back on. But that's a nice win there for Silent Spring. On to our main event. It's arrived! The main event here with Division and Riptide. Division, as we know, got mauled by Mayhem in its last fight, and it's going to be taking on a harder opponent in Riptide. Riptide is the first time it's come onto Fight Club here, and it's rocking the egg beater, but with no ground attachments. So it'll be interesting to see how that does. And it will be the Reach of Division going against the egg beater of Riptide in our main event. So you already know we had to bring this back. 3, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin here. Both these bots going at the front of each other, both with great speed here. It's going to be very beneficial for whoever gets to the side. Division's forks already looking a bit mangled. That egg beater, even with no ground attachments, is getting the job done as they have flipped over Division. Division stuck in that corner there. This allows Riptide to just keep racking up damage while Division is down. This is a tough spot for Division. Division trying to self-right here, but even if they try, here is Riptide battering them even harder, but there's a break. Riptide has let Division out of the corner. Division can now kind of self-right in an open space. They definitely need to. They are behind by a lot here. But with the help of Riptide, Division is back up. Something came flying there. I think that was the last sort of bit of fork there. But there's another big hit there by Riptide, flipping over Division. But they self-right quickly this time. The pits have now been dropped. 1 minute remaining. Riptide in a really bad spot here. Wow, the whole backside panel has just been pried open by Division. That's a big hit there. That's the biggest damage of the match. And that egg beater has stopped working. So Division with a big opening here, as long as they can keep on their wheels for this fight and not get bullied by Riptide, which is what Riptide is doing right now. They could come back and win this. Riptide has no weapon, and Riptide's back panel has just been pried even more back. You can see the circuitry, but that's a great push by Riptide. Riptide might have this, and Riptide has just put Division down the pit. That was a very close call there by Riptide, but they ultimately get the job done. This was a good main event, maybe even great. Both these bots, it was Riptide in the early beginning, flipping Division lots here, getting them on their backs, which is where they're most vulnerable for sure, and ripping those forks off. But then kind of midway through the match, when the pits start to open, Division got a great shot on the back, completely disabling that weapon, and then that just allowed Division to get even more hits. But it was that lucky push from Riptide and that unlucky flip from Division that got them in the pit. And that was a nice little push there by Riptide, and it resulted in a pit KO. That's a good win there for Riptide. Well done. Well, now we'll just about wrap things up for episode 6 here. So a lot of great hits, some good control here. I'm really sorry for posting this a day or two late. I was just really unmotivated, and I had a sports injury, so not much time as well as motivation to do it. But I'll keep pushing. I'll keep releasing more. That's going to be it for episode 6. I hope you enjoyed. Stay for every Fridays to do this. So, yeah, see you in the next one. Peace.